Here I have 16 maps that you sent me on the Discord server to establish which is the best map on the list. Thanks to everyone who sent their map on the Discord server. So let's start the first fight with the map of Lavatrice 22 against the Soviet Union. Let's first analyze the map of Lavatrice 22. As we can see, the overall map is pretty accurate and there are some details such as Northern Cyprus, San Marino and Vatican City. The country balls are of course drawn freely and there's even Ukraine and Russia fighting. The flags are accurate and there's pretty much every country. Now let's look at Soviet Union's map. So he tells us that it was drawn out of memory, and that seems to be the case as the map is missing a lot of details. Trinidad and Tobago sank into the ocean and Paraguay is missing. In the south the Falklands sank and Chile annexed the Tierra del Fuego. The flags are also drawn and to be honest are the best part. The map however is very basic and the overall look is pretty meh. So the winner of this battle is obviously Lavatrice 22. Next up we got Apple against ITER. Let's start with Apple's map. Now Apple didn't make the coastline for this map. We're gonna look at their borders. If we look for more details we start to notice that the lines are very rough and are not very precise. But we are in a very serious contest right now. The Swedish-Norwegian border is a good example of these borders drawn roughly. They aren't as precise as they are in accurate maps, and details are often overlooked. Let's now see ITER's map. Our candidate doesn't specify which parts of the map are made, so we'll have to talk about the overall scenario here. This map might be very confusing at first, but let me explain. This is in September 1945, and the Allies defeated Germany while the Soviet Union was unable to push them back during the war. So the black areas are the parts still occupied by the Wehrmacht. And as we analyze, it becomes clearer what is going on here. Another important details are the color used for the borders. The legal borders are drawn black, while the unofficial front lines are white. Also, Allied occupation is very precise as the United States, France and England are different occupations. The map is very well designed and it deserves to win the fight. Our next candidates are Taki and LLT227. Let's start with Taki's map. First of all, we got to consider that the map was drawn by Taki and it's pretty accurate too. But like the other map of Europe that we have seen, this is very rough and the borders aren't meant to be as accurate as they can be. Many islands are missing and details are overlooked. Then some flags are well made and some others have been kinda misplaced or a bit odd. Then we got the map of LLT, which represents the end of World War II if Horthy's exit attempt was successful. So we got a bigger Hungary and the greater empires don't decolonize. The map wasn't completely drawn, so we'll look at the occupation zones. We can see that the revolts and local rebellions from the colonies can be seen, which is a good thing to mention. There are some odd things though. For example, why is China completely occupied by the Soviet Union? So I contacted him and our homie said that they are in fact two different countries with similar colors. Then in Australia there's this blue coastline which I don't understand, but it could be the occupation of Australians or some other power. Also, this map is referring to not decolonizing since the 1700s. Some parts of the map make sense, some others are a bit strange. The two maps are very nice, but while both have many problems, LLT's map has many more details and gives a more precise look at the map. So the winner for this battle is obviously LLT's map. Next up we got Corvus battling against the cat Bingus. Let's see Corvus' map. The scenario is not specified, so I'll guess it could be a post-alternative interwar. Most of the borders are okay, but there are some details that I can't stand. Like what happened in Greece and Romanian Bessarabia, which has this weird round border. I don't know how serious I can take this scenario since Yugoslavia annexed Albania. There are many other unrealistic things, but overall the map itself is good. Now we have Bingus, with his map of Austrian provinces and stats. This map claims the territory and population of German Austria in the year 1990. However, the GDP and GDP per capita are statistics made in 2021. In addition, the regions of this map are also partially wrong, since the original map of Austria has more provinces than in Bingus' map. The map also separates Vienne into a whole other province, which is a characteristic of today's Austria. The overall map can be very misleading and confusing. So at the end of the day, the map of Corvus can be unrealistic and partially wrong, but the map of Bingus is very strange and seems to have been made just for fun. So I have to give the blessing of victory to Corvus for this one. First battle of the right side of our tournament is battle between Evanist and 4. Let's start with Evanist. So Evanist's map is completely drawn manually with the old flags. This drawing is pretty sick. The borders are mostly accurate and the coastline is generally not overlooked. Details missing are lakes and islands. But apart from that, and from the Middle East in the corner which is experiencing depression, we can say that this map is very impressive and well made. Then we got 4's map, which is set in 2022 and is the result of an alternate timeline, especially in the Balkans. There's not much to say about the borders, those are just well made. The main islands are there and the overall territories are pretty accurate. This is a very creative scenario in my opinion, as there are many things that in other universes could have been possible. The country boards are well made too, and some even have custom perks such as Turkey and Britain. We just looked at 2 very well made maps. We can congratulate Evanist for the patience he had with his drawing and 4 for the accuracy and creativity of the map. So the winner for me is... nobody. The winner here is Troll. We will come back to them later. In the meantime, let's move on to the other maps. Up next we got Lucian vs Shadow Wolf 611. Lucian decides to give us a map of the new Roman Empire with provinces. The idea is very nice. We have Italy, France, Spain and Portugal forming the new empire with some other annexations such as Istria, Geneva, Wallonia and Luxembourg. The flag also represents the idea very well with its colors and coat of arms. Very cool overall. Then we have Shadow Wolf, which blessed us with a map of Central Europe. Borders, rivers, lakes and important cities. The map is very well made and the cities are accurately placed. While Shadow Wolf's map is really good, Lucian inspired us with his empire and his provinces. So the winner here is Lucian. Please remember that Shadow Wolf's map was almost gonna win if it wasn't for the idea of Lucian. Our next contestants are Warhead and the Union of South Africa. Let's explore Warhead's map. Warhead blesses us with a map of the Finnish Empire, I assume. We can clearly see that the coastlines are very rough, while the country's borders are clearer and more accurate. The empire made is interesting, but the provinces seem invented and not carefully drawn. On top of that, the Belarusian puppet, it's literally modern day Belarus, partially annexed and puppeted, making this empire unrealistic in any era. Then we have a Union of South Africa's map. This is clearly a scenario in which the Axis powers won World War II. The war map is drawn in a simple way, but some borders just don't feel right. First of all, the collapsed provinces don't make such sense and are randomly drawn. The occupation zones of the Japanese Empire aren't very accurate, same thing for the powers in Europe. The only actually accurate thing here I think is South America, which still misses some islands. The idea is nice, but it could have been done with better borders. Both maps have ups and downs, and they both have good ideas which could have been applied better. Union of South Africa really went for this idea, so he wins the battle. Last but not least, Roman Mapper vs Endermans. Let's start with Roman Mapper. His map is super detailed, almost everything is shown and the borders are beautiful. The countryable talking is great and text is very well put in place. The only thing it misses is the oceans, which are just a flat color, which is also a great choice of colors for the sea. Then we have Endermans. The map is very cool, it has a very good looking lighting and the black color contrast is great. The coastlines are super ultra detailed and nothing is missing. The cities and lights are also shown on the map. The seas and oceans are very sharp and detailed. The only flaw I see in this map is the lack of lakes in the East and Central Europe. Apart from that, it's really good and very unique. Both maps are awesome and magnificent. They are very interesting and very well made. However, the winner shall be the Endermans. While Roman Mapper's map is almost perfect, Endermans gives us a very interesting and beautiful map, which also takes accountability of the ocean. Now, what are we missing? That's right, let's go back to Evanist and 4. We left them with these inspiring maps, which we didn't establish the winner. So, while 4's map is very cool and very good looking, we can safely say that what Evanist did is very impressive, so he and his drawing of Africa are the winners of this battle. Now that we finished the quarterfinals, let's start with the third finals. We got Lavatrice 22 against Aether. These are different types of maps which are unique in their own ways. The strongest point for Aether is the creativity and the smart ways in which the front lines are portrayed with. Lavatrice 22 drew all the country balls and gave them some type of custom personality. A very strong thing Aether's map has is the accuracy of the overall map, which Lavatrice 22's map lacks. Lavatrice's country balls are the main thing about this map. Aether's occupation zones is what makes the map smart and very interesting. After all that being said, the winner of this first battle shall be Aether, for the accuracy and the creativity. Next battle is LLT against Corvus. We previously talked about LLT's map being a unique scenario, which changes a lot of our past history with colonial empires. Corvus' map, on the other hand, seems to be set only during the Interwar, while LLT's map is most likely a preset. Corvus' map is custom and the borders have clearly been drawn manually. LLT's unique scenario and look are what makes the map worth it, while Corvus' map gives an interesting outcome to the Interwar. It was hard for me to decide, but I have the final results. The winner of this battle is Corvus. The reason is simple. LLT's map doesn't focus on a time period and it gives a chaotic feeling. Many empires stayed by keeping the occupation of other countries, while other nations are still independent and it doesn't have any particular reason behind it. Corvus' map instead focuses on a set time period, has a semi-realistic vibe to it, and the overall map is not as chaotic and is simple to understand the alternate timeline. Now our contestants, Lucian and Evanist, will fight the third battle of this round. Lucian's map is very strong. It represents an interesting idea of a new Roman Empire, and it does its work by uniting Latin brothers under one empire, with the flag that symbolizes the countries. Evanist's map is completely different. It's drawn, it's another continent, and it gives the vibe of hard work put into the drawing, which is missing on the other map, since it's most likely a preset. Evanist's map is also completed with the flag of each nation, which in Lucian's map is just there staring at you. Both maps are really a vibe, but I have to confess that Evanist's map seems to be the best option between the two. Here we are in the last battle of this round. Union of South Africa battles against Endermans. The first one gives a chaotic scenario with classic colors and a relatively simple map of the world. The other is the ultimate detail realistic map, with oceans and cities very well detailed. These are two completely different maps, and have to be seen by different points of view. The Union of South Africa's map is great for the general idea, while Enderman's map can be praised for its very intriguing details. Despite me being interested in Union of South Africa's map, I have to give this one to the Endermans. It's just very well made, and its vibe is unmatched. It shall pass on to the semi-finals. We are almost about to find out the winner. Let's see our next contestants. Aether versus Corvus. Aether's map gives us a very interesting idea by showing all the front lines and all the occupation zones, while Corvus gives us an alternate timeline of Europe. Both maps have a similar sea and the borders are very detailed in both maps. While Aether's map is a preset, Corvus' map seems to have been drawn down by himself. Both ideas are very interesting, but the winner of this battle for uniqueness and detail has to be Aether! We are almost to the end of our tournament. Next up is the Great Endermans against the mythical Evanist. Enderman's map maxed out details and perfection, while Evanist's map maxed out effort and intrigueness. Evanist's map unfortunately is blank outside the main map, while Enderman's is completely covered in details and is totally completed. We have appreciated Evanist's effort until now, but this battle gets won by the Endermans. Congratulations! This is it. The final battle. Out of 16 candidates, only one will leave victorious. Aether versus Endermans. Let's start. Aether's map portrays very detailed front lines and a new creative scenario. Enderman's map gives us what nobody could have thought of, a totally defined sea with all details and coastlines. Enderman's map also gives us very good lighting, while Aether's map doesn't give us all that. It shows the map with colors and front lines in a very defined way. Now, it's time to decide who will leave as a winner out of this competition. The victor of the Ultimate Italian Mapper competition is Endermans! The unmatched perspicacity, coupled with sheer coastlines and details, makes out a completely unique map of Europe. It deserves to win the competition. Thanks again to Aether and everyone who sent their maps. I would not have been able to make this video without you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.